many things that helps to define or contributes to defining an individual's character and personality. It's a topic that we don't talk enough about.
I've never really had any issues, but occasionally you'll find some kids would like to keep to each other.
There is definite diversity. I would also say that we aren't particularly diverse.
I think it's done a very good job improving that in the recent years. Still a divide in the sense that a lot of students of color will sit in certain areas in commons.
And aside from like a few exceptions in a few different social groups, I think for the large part, people from different backgrounds tend to hang out with people of the same background.
They tend to gravitate towards people that they associate with. So that's inevitable, but like there are people who try to go beyond that and try to sit with people like all across.
You see all shapes, sizes, colors, and languages, and it's really incredible, but we have had a lot of problems with people feeling as though it's not as diverse as it should be.
I think race does play a role as far as people's seating arrangements and dining halls, parties.
Instances like those, it's really clear to see who's comfortable with who, who's not so comfortable with who, be it for cultural differences, whatever it may be. I feel like race definitely has its role.
Intentional segregation is in the Pew Center. I mean, that's where you find most of the multicultural centers, and the Pew Center is often perceived as a place that's not very accepting of particularly white students.
I can't say off the top of my head right now that I've noticed intentional segregation here at Colby. I wouldn't be so naive as to think that it doesn't happen.
Students of mixed cultures and mixed races to come into a campus like Colby, which is predominantly white, is to allow not only the students who are of different cultures and different races to interact, but also the white students to interact with, to the point where we're creating a community that's like the real world. And if we aren't effectively creating that community, everybody comes out not knowing how to interact on a job level, a graduate campus level. So I think that's actually a real hindrance for us as a community.
Students of color feel very insecure about the way that they dress on campus, and I think that, you know, there's just this need to really try to fit in, and I think that in doing that, a lot of students of color lose the ability to, you know, learn more about their racial identities, whether they want to or not, and I think that students really grapple with that.
I don't know if I want to say that Colby does as an institution. I think I find ways to.
But I feel like what we need more than a safe space is a space that attracts all students to come and participate in these conversations.
I think one really amazing thing is C-Corp.
Campus conversation on race. We've been around since 2008, 2009. We've had over 1,000 students participate in these small student-led discussions around race. They're student-only discussions, so students talk about what they want to talk about. I think it gives a place for students to be able to listen to each other. And it's also a place like classroom that I don't expect to be politically correct. I do expect people to respect each other, but also it's a place for people to share their feelings and learn from each other.
For some students, it's a place of gathering. For other students, it's a place of gathering and learning. For other students, it's a place that's a resource. For other students, it's an opportunity to learn more about themselves.
Start thinking of the Pew Center as an objective of the community rather than a physical space. Then we can take that conversation anywhere it needs to go. Think of it more in terms of a spirit, a philosophy, and a desire to create cross-cultural dialogue and communication.
I mean, race is a really difficult thing to talk about. We don't always know what we're talking about, and so because we're not always sure, either we choose not to talk about it, or it gets to be very difficult, or we get past that difficulty and keep trying. But there's nothing about this that's going to say it's going to be easy. I mean, this is part of the issue, why we can't get further along.
You're in college to learn, and most of the learning will take place out of the classroom. Now, how are you going to take advantage of that? If you're going to live with a student from a different racial or ethnic background for a year and never talk to them about the curiosities you have, then how is that anyway going to prepare you for having an office mate that's from a different race or religion or background, or God forbid having a boss who's from a different group, or having someone move into you next door in your neighborhood and a family of a different race or religion.
But how we can help the Colby community be a connected and interconnected community is absolutely critical.